What's up, Supreme Team, and welcome to the channel. Y'all, we are talking about these guys right here, Marsau and Tisha. If y'all did not catch my review yesterday, I talked about Tisha and Marsau saying that the community had their business, the bar, shut down. And he said that they claim they failed to pay a use sales tax. The explanation that they gave on the show is wrong. That's not what the use sales tax is. Someone schooled me on that, a family member actually. And so I'm going to share it with y'all what they were really talking about. Y'all know they play games with the audience, so I'm going to straighten it out. We're also going to talk about Miss Porsha Williams' child. I believe she's winning in court based on these new documents I read. So we're going to talk about her. And then Chris Breezy, okay, Chris Brown, child, he is sitting there in that prison orange right here, sitting here in that prison orange, was supposed to be on tour, singing, dancing, and taking his butt on home. And he found himself in some trouble yet again. Okay. Every time I think that Chris is walking the straight and narrow, he, proves me wrong. He's back in there. And I'm going to tell y'all the latest that got someone running his pockets. Okay. So y'all stick around for everything. Please and thank you. Share the video. Also hit that like button because that is how others find me right here on YouTube. I am DYANAROZAY, and I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows and whatever is popping on social media. If you are not a subscriber, please become one. Hit that notification bell too. That way you don't miss any of my videos. I go by DYANAROZAY on all platforms, and I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. Okay, you guys, and this discussion is about news, current events, reality TV, pop culture. It's for entertainment purposes only, and all comments are opinion and alleged. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's start with Chris Brown first, because like I said, every time I think he is walking the straight and narrow, he will turn around and get his ass in a sling for some reason. He just cannot keep it together. And it looks like this time he has allowed himself to be provoked. Okay. Chris Brown was performing this weekend in Fort Worth, Texas. Okay. Good old Boyville. Okay. Down there performing and could have just, did his thing and went home. But unfortunately for him, he did not. Him and another guy by the name of Yella Breezy, also a performer. After the concert was over, y'all know how everybody gets to go into that VIP section, and sometimes you see those girls taking pictures bent over and all that good stuff. They be charging a mint for those photos, like $1,500, like an upward of $1,500 for the photos. Well, unfortunately, Chris could not just, take them photos, make his money, eat his food and go home. He allowed himself to be basically one of his entourage, someone in his entourage, instigated a fight. Okay. So let me read this to you. A representative from Busby Law Firm, Busby happens to be an attorney, and keep this name in mind when you guys hear it, because I went over to Busby's page. Okay. Busby is promoting this lawsuit. He has a picture of Chris Brown in this bright orange jail jumpsuit, and he said he does not lose. And when I start looking at his resume, he does not. Okay. He is showing that when he goes to court, it is for millions, as in multiple millions. Okay. I think the last lawsuit he won was 22 million. And then he started showing other things like what the jury awards and legal fees, 3-4 million. He goes for cases that's 50 million, 100 million, so on and so forth. So this time, after hearing about what happened to 4 men who attended a Chris Brown concert, he went on down to the hospital, spoke to them, and then he filed a lawsuit against Chris Brown and Yella Breezy for 50 million. Okay. And he is a good old boy Texan. Okay. He does not lose. He wants people to know that. So he is the one who's making these press statements and things, basically getting it out there that, you can settle with us if you like, but we're going to court if you don't. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, let's get to it. It says that a rep from Busby Law Firm spoke about the lawsuit on an Instagram post today, and that's where all of these details were revealed. There were 4 men who attended Chris Brown's concert. Okay, the men's name, there's more than that, of course, but 4 men that are the victims. So Larry Parker, Joseph Lewis, Charles Bush, and DeMarcus Powell. Those 4 men are seeking $50 million after allegedly being attacked during a meet and greet at Chris Brown's Fort Worth, Texas tour stop. The men have filed the lawsuit claiming that upon leaving the VIP area, Charles Bush, who dapped up Chris Brown and congratulated him on a good show, ends up getting, dog whistle. One of his Chris Brown's entourage dog whistles to Chris Brown and says, "Hey, Chris, don't you remember you two were beefing?" Saying that the fan and Chris had been beefing. And then Chris chimes in and says, "Oh yeah, what's up, Ninja? I don't forget shit." Okay. So after that, Chris told all of his people to jump Bush. Bush alleges that he was surrounded by 7 to 10 members of Chris's crew who allegedly punched, kicked, and beat him repeatedly. He also claims that one of the men threw a chair at his head. Then Chris Brown instructed Yellow Breezy to assault Larry Parker in the staircase. So they're saying all 4 men are saying they were attacked. There's one man right now that is still in the hospital suffering from his injuries. Anywho, why? Why? But you can see him right there looking simple as hell. Okay. Who puts himself in this situation? Who puts themselves in this situation? So the suit is again saying it's against Chris Brown. I'm wondering if more people will be added to the suit, like promoters and things, because you want your money, right? Those guys didn't deserve that, and you should really feel like going to a concert, especially as much money as it costs to get into that VIP area, that you're going to have a good time and feel safe. So they deserve every penny that man is suing him for. That was some low down stuff. So y'all talk to me in the comments. Let me know what y'all think about Chris Brown being sued for $50 million. Do y'all believe it happened or no? Okay. Talk to me in the comments and let me know. So in case you guys were unaware, Simon is trying to get the prenup that they had signed, him and Porsha had signed, thrown out. And right now, the judge is abiding by that prenup. If y'all weren't aware, Porsha was granted temporary sole custody and use of the $7 million Georgia marital mansion after claiming that their prenup included a clause that allowed her exclusive use of the home for a period of time if a divorce was filed. And Simon reportedly purchased the property before they actually got married in November of 2021. So he is basically saying that prenup needs to go. It was actually unfair. I don't know if he's saying he was, he signed it under duress or what, but let's talk a little bit more about the prenup so y'all can see where they are right now, because Porsha is, she got the jump on Simon, whether he like it or not. Okay, so let me read this to y'all. So Simon Guobadia is still fighting to have the court throw out the prenup that he signed with Porsha Williams. He signed this document on November 17th, 2022, 9 days before the former couple actually tied the knot. So 9 days before. And according to the terms of their prenup, Porsha Williams agreed to quit both of her jobs. So at the time it was Dish Nation and RHOA, to be a stay-at-home wife. Okay, now I told y'all that before. Now, after Porsha quit her jobs, the parties began discussing a prenup agreement in December of 2021. And during that negotiation phase and through the execution of the prenuptial agreement, the wife was not working on the Real Housewives of Atlanta show or with Dish Nation. She had quit her jobs to be a stay-at-home wife, which was the agreement, y'all. That was the agreement. Upon the socialite leaving both of her main sources of income behind, Simon began paying Porsha a 5-figure monthly allowance while Porsha exited the reality show. So remember, he asked her the question. I think I said this to you guys maybe 2 or 3 videos ago. He asked the question, what did you think? He wanted her to answer under oath. Why do you think he was paying her a 5-figure salary, basically, right? So he's saying, if you quit those jobs, I was giving you a 5-figure salary in replacement of the money that you lost, is what it sounds like. So he's saying that when she left those shows, that's when he began paying her a 5-figure salary. And then he said that when RHOA came back on, that he was blindsided by the announcement that she was returning to the show. Now, the reason why I said Porsha may be winning here is because we all know that RHOA actually ran a commercial prior to Porsha filing for divorce where they said, Porsha Williams is returning. And then she goes, Porsha who? I don't know her. Porsha Gubadia, right? She made this whole thing about it, child. And then, according to some new reports that were just released, Porsha and Simon had a surrogate that, they were going through IVF, planning to have a baby, and that was going to be a major part of the storyline, which, by the way, would explain why he was asking producers and all the people over there at Bravo to give him all of the storyline information, because he's trying to set up a defense around that, right? So that means he knows. So if she was going back to work, so were you, sir. She was going to be living in the house that the two of you lived in, and you would have been okay with that if it wasn't for her filing for divorce. So keep that in mind, y'all. Simon claims that Porsha did not disclose to him that she was returning to the show. That's bull, okay? But he says that she didn't disclose to him that she had plans, I'm assuming, to return to the show after signing the prenup. That doesn't make sense. That sounds like wordplay to me. Like, well, she didn't let me know. It doesn't matter that she didn't let you know. You didn't disagree with it when she had signed up for this current season. You didn't disagree with it, and you expected to be a part of the show. And that's where you're going to fail in court. It goes on to say that Porsha failed to disclose that she would return, yada, yada, yada. And he's saying that basically she misrepresented herself when she signed the prenup. She made him think during their engagement and their negotiation phase that she would simply stay at home and be a stay-at-home wife. Furthermore, the Nigerian entrepreneur accused Porsha of taking calculated steps to divorce him after just 453 days of marriage in order to intentionally trigger the provisions of the prenuptial agreement for financial gain. He said that it's wholly unfair and shocking for Porsha to be able to ask for $7 million premarital home, collect a substantial amount in home equity, and receive an exorbitant financial payout from Simon under the terms of the prenuptial agreement that Porsha entered into. Okay, he's basically saying that he entered that prenup under fraudulent pretenses, and she failed to disclose what she was and who she was, and she misrepresented the marital or material facts. That's a lot. That's a lot. So at the end of the day, if Porsha can prove that he was going to be a part of the storyline, that basically kills his theory. But y'all talk to me in the comments. Do y'all think that, let me know where you stand now? Because I have been saying before that Porsha quit all of her jobs, and that was the whole, reason for the prenup and her staying in the house and all that stuff. And now he's basically saying, yeah, I would have been willing to continue in this marriage as is. However, it was her who broke the agreement. And if she broke the agreement first, by going back to work that, the prenup doesn't apply. So talk to me in the comments. Let me know what y'all think with that little bit of information, child. It's a lot, but let's get to this next story. Okay, we are talking about, who are we talking about? Oh, Marsau and Tisha. Okay, if you guys watched Saturday's episode, you would have saw a scene with Tisha and Marsau at their bar, and you would have saw all the furniture on top of, tabletops, countertops. There's plastic over everything. It looked like the business had been out of order for months, right? Not just a couple of days, okay? Because when it came to the public, they made it seem like, oh, it was just closed for like 2 days. It wasn't that big of a deal, just that weekend, and it was open back up that Monday. I think the report came out during the middle of the week, maybe like on a Wednesday. And then the very next day, they were putting out videos of themselves like at the bar, and Marsau is like doing the cha-cha-cha and shaking drinks and stuff. Tisha's old makeup artist had put out a bunch of videos. They put on a show. They put on a real show. But in the scene, they said the reason why they were shut down is because community leaders came in, made some complaints to City Hall because Marsau apparently isn't paying his community ties, okay? There's somebody, he made it seem like there was some big wig leaders in the community that was just picking on them, okay? And he said that because of that, the police department and the fire department came in, did an inspection, and shut them down. And Tisha said it was for use tax for furniture. And Marsau was like, yeah. She went, but we already paid the taxes on the furniture from Amazon and Wayfair. And Marsau's like, you damn right. That's just a bunch of bull, Tisha. Well, what I ended up finding out is that restaurants have to pay a tax for anyone who dines in and sits in that furniture. So if they come in, sit their tail in that furniture and order a drink or food or whatever it is, that there is an additional, like a dine-in tax or that type of use tax. That's what they mean. Sales and use tax it applies to their dine-in customers, and that tax has to be paid out, right? And usually it's wrapped into something. I'm not sure how Marsau was able to extract that tax, if he's telling the truth. I don't know how he was able to extract that specific tax, the sales and use tax, out of whatever else he's paying for. But it will get your ass shut down. I do know that, okay? It will get you shut down. And so what is being told to me is if it was a sales and use tax, it was because he failed to pay the dine-in taxes that goes to the city for any customer that sits in his chair or in his establishment to drink alcohol or eat food, because he is considered a restaurant as well. Okay, so there you have it, folks. Just a little more information. I don't know if you had an opportunity to see our review from yesterday, me and my sister. It's worth listening to again, child, because it's funny. So I'm going to play this little bit of this little clip from the review. Make sure y'all watch it. Watch the whole review if you missed it, and I'll catch you on the other side. So I'll be right back. Just a couple of months ago, actually, earlier this year, Marsau's business was closed. It became a big social media thing. People started calling the business, trying to see if it was true, things like that. And it was true. The business did get closed down, I guess, like, a big weekend. According to him, he said it was homecoming weekend. I'm not so sure if it was homecoming weekend. But either way, it was closed. Okay. So let's start there. And what it sounds like, initially, it felt like he said it was due to the Love and Marriage Huntsville audience, that there was people that was a part of the audience that got that business closed down for that day. But what we come to find out in the episode, and a lot of y'all are always saying this show isn't about business. So let's talk about the business component of what happened. Because I used to work for the county, city kind of thing. And I know when people would come in and argue about other shit that was happening in the community and how you get a business shut down. So what it sounds like is Marsau wasn't paying his community tithes. Okay. Basically, he said it was some community leaders, maybe a minister or someone that he said didn't live in the community, but doesn't matter. He still has impact in that community. Marsau is over there doing whatever he thinks he wants to do without running them pockets over to whoever is asking for the money, is what it came across to me. Okay. And so because he chose not to play ball,
sounds like mob ties.
Big bank took little bank. They literally went down to the city hall and they asked their friends, let's come over here and show this fucker a lesson. He had the police department there, the fire department there, and they went all the way through there with an inspection to see what they needed to close that damn place down. And what they figured out is that he didn't pay his sales tax on the furniture they have in that building. But literally, when someone does that to you, it is simply to fuck with you. Period.
Ooh.
Okay.
Wow.
Whoever is in that community straight up said to them, and from what it sounds like, it's a parking issue. And if you've ever seen Black, it looks like they have maybe 4 parking spots in front of the bar, and everything else would be like on the street parking or across the street parking, things like that. So I don't know where the church is in the community, but wherever the church is, they feel like Marsau's business is interfering with their business, because church is a business too. And so since Marsau was not willing to follow whatever this protocol is, whatever the community protocol is for this church, they said, well, we're going to call in some favors and we're going to shut your shit down. And that's exactly what they did. Okay. If what he is saying is true, that's what he said. And Tisha sat there with her tears in her eyes talking about, we're always picking on you. And I know how hard it is that you work for this community and for this bar and da 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 da. And Marsau said, Tisha, I don't give a damn. They ain't running me up out of here. I don't give I don't care what they do. And I'm laughing when I'm watching it because I'm like, Marsau, you either paid up or they was going to run them pockets every damn month or every quarter, because that's what happens when there is that type of business in the community. So this is a real business lesson for everybody who's asking. I have seen this a number of times. If Marsau is playing his music too loud, whatever it is, if they don't have enough parking for their people, they will play you every single time with the city. Okay.
And are they playing them because they're using someone else's place to park?
Well, he didn't give us all that information. He said that they had an issue with the parking. And because they had an issue with the parking, they called the police department and the fire department to find a violation at that point. Because really, when you have a business license, someone, an inspector comes in, I think once a year to come and make sure everything is up to par. When you have a brick and mortar, that business license has to stay up. Marsau also, because he serves food and all the other things, there's a whole bunch of inspectors that's supposed to come through his business to make sure that he is, in violation of everything.
Gotcha.
If they came in and said there's a problem, and they came in the middle of something right before his big event, it is because he's pissed somebody off. And like I said, if it is a minister, because he kind of hinted that it was a minister who don't live in the community. He may not live there, but that church is there. So you either follow the rules that's always been there, run that man his money, okay, pay them tithes, okay, them community tithes, or you out. That's what it sounded like to me. Okay, let's see. Someone said he had that big homecoming event. They were parking lot at Black. It was a 2-day event over there on IG and Facebook. So, okay. And they claimed like they made it seem like he had bought all this food and liquor and stuff, and he couldn't pull it off. I also remember it being in the winter time for some reason. I feel like it was cold. So I don't believe it was a homecoming event. I think they changed up the dialogue around it, but made it seem like there was some big event happening. He just got it shut the hell down. If I'm not mistaken, if y'all remember other differently, let me know. Dyana is 100% on point. Clearly, the Scots have an issue with some of the leaders in Huntsville. That's the only way that happens. Okay. So, yeah. Thank you for teaching us a little bit of business. Everybody keep asking for it. You got it. You got it. You need to follow some of
I'm
the
done with you.
rules, okay? It was funny when I was listening to it because my ears was like, bing, 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 boo. Okay, y'all. So that is pretty much it. Like I said, if you missed my review for yesterday, make sure you please check out the full review. So he basically said that it was because they didn't pay tax on their furniture. And I guess that is completely incorrect. They was just, running game for the audience as usual. Whether or not they had community leaders that pulled the trigger on them or not, I'm not sure. But it was closed, as we all know, and they were able to get it paid up and corrected. And I think that all of that came on the heels of those lawsuits, basically them making arrangements to pay off those very large lawsuits with I think it's Zen Garden and some other things. So people were kind of looking to see if that business was a part of it. And it very well could have been. Like I said in my review, they could have just cleaned up some things or made one thing seem like something else. But y'all know how the Scots work. So it is what it is. Y'all talk to me in the comments anyway and let me know what you think of all of the stories I share with y'all today. Chris Breezy and Porsha Williams, okay? Share this video. Make sure y'all all hit the like button for me. And I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me, okay? Follow me on all platforms at DYANAROZAY, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.